made a list. If you're new to, is anybody new to silver or hasn't yet put like 99% of their wealth in silver now? I made a list of 10 reasons to buy silver today. And I'm just going to fire them off because they're so, when you've been in this for long enough, they seem so obvious. But if you're new, it seems like, why the hell would I put all my money into a piece of metal? Here are the 10 reasons. Maybe get 11 reasons. The first reason is that in 1980, we had an all-time high of silver of $50 in 1980, and they've printed so much money since 1980, you would think silver would be at $5,000, $10,000 an ounce. It's at $19 an ounce because they keep shorting the naked derivative contracts. But here are the 10 reasons to buy silver. And this is the number one biggest reason. It's a standalone asset. What happens to your silver when JP Morgan goes down, or Fidelity goes down, or BlackRock, of all places, goes down? Your silver is still in your possession. You still own that 1 ounce of silver. It's a standalone asset with no third parties. If these banks go down, every single thing you have invested in outside of standalone assets will be gone instantly. 401k, IRA, checking account, savings account. They all depend on these companies staying together, and they call them too big to fail banks because if just one of them fails, it's over. Everything crashes. That's the number one reason. Number two, silver's a monetary metal, meaning it's money like gold, and it's an industrial metal. Who has a cell phone? You have 1/100th of an ounce of silver in your cell phone. Flat screen TVs, either ounce to 2 ounces, depending how big it is. Electric vehicles, huge amounts of silver. Solar panels. Joe Biden wants to put a solar panel on every street corner. Where's he going to get the silver? There's just not, the Green New Deal is the most ridiculous joke in the history of mankind because you would need more silver than has ever been mined or ever been found in mankind's history. And the vast majority of silver that we have found is in trash heaps, and it's in little bitty pieces. You know, does anybody save their old cell phones that had 1/100th of an ounce of silver? Nobody. You throw them away because they're not worth anything because Apple will make a new cell phone that none of the software works with the old cell phone. They got a con, those guys. Number three, there's a global supply deficit starting next year. Even Jeffrey Christian, that criminal market analyst, will tell you next year we're going to be consuming more silver than we dig out of the ground. Number four, silver is massively undervalued because it's at, well, this is old because I put 1/2 of its 1980 high. It's at like 40% of its 1980 high, and that's 100% because of the rigging of the silver price on the electronic markets. Number five, silver-gold ratio. The silver-gold ratio means the amount of ounces of silver that you can buy with 1 ounce of gold. Historically, that was a big deal because silver and gold were money. It was always like 12-1 or 10-1 because you were pulling it out of the ground at 10-1. Right now, they're pulling it out of the ground at 7-1. But the ratio is what, 92-1 right now? So if you have any gold fillings, you name it, melt them down and trade them in for silver. You can get 90 ounces of silver for just 1 ounce of gold. Number six, the silver price has been suppressed for 170 years. And the price suppression of silver began in the 1850s when England was buying spices and teas from China, and they were on a silver standard using silver as money. They were shipping all their silver to China because the wealthy loved these spices and the teas and all that stuff and the silks from China. And the British Empire said, oh my God, what are we going to do? So they set up a bank over there called Hong Kong Shanghai Bank. And what their job was to finance the poppy fields to get the Chinese addicted to opium. And then they charge the Chinese people, they'd have to buy their opium with silver, and that way all the silver would come back to England. Isn't that like the worst thing you can possibly imagine? I mean, that's how our bankers work today. That bank, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, is now called HSBC. They had the biggest fine in history for a bank. I think it was $60 billion for financing all the drug cartels. This stuff doesn't end. These people are still controlling us and running our lives. Number 7, the dollar. The U.S. dollar is defined as 371.25 grams of silver. Did you know that? It's still in our Constitution. It's the Coinage Act of 1792. They have never changed that definition of what a U.S. dollar is. That's why if you pull out a Federal Reserve note, those green pieces of paper we call dollars, it'll say Federal Reserve note on the top. What is a note? It's an IOU. Theoretically, the Fed owes us 371.25 grams of silver for every dollar. You think they're going to pay that? No, they never will. Number 8, the USA is now printing unlimited amounts of fiat money. The reverse repo market. I know not many people have ever heard of the reverse repo market. It's the cheapest money you can get. It's like overnight lending. You know, the longer your mortgage, you put it out 30 years, you're going to pay more because it's a longer term loan. The cheapest money in banking is the overnight money. And the overnight money, they go to the Fed, and the Fed will give them overnight money. Right now, the banks have got $2.3 trillion of overnight money. That's $2.3 trillion in bailouts, basically. And they have to renew them every single night because they wanted the cheap money, but now they can't pay it back. Any silver lovers here? I've been investing in silver for truthfully about 40 years, but at least actively investing 22 years now. And we have never been closer to freedom in silver, but it's never been more manipulated than right now with this government. And Trump did the same thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Trump in certain ways, but I know he rigged the system more than anybody before him. And right now, the Biden administration is rigging it even more. So this will not last. $18 silver will be the joke of humanity. When silver goes to $5,000 an ounce, you'll be saying, shit, remember we were at that bar at Llewellyn's and that weird guy was sitting on stage singing about silver and how it was going to go to $5,000 and we could have bought it at $19? You're going to remember this day. I'm just telling you. Thought I heard the people say, pay me my silver now. Tomorrow's another trading day. Pay me my silver now. Watching the comics prices rise. Pay me my silver now. JP Morgan, naked shorts the high. Pay me my silver now.